Hello and welcome to episode 25 of the podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Noy.
And
God dang. I'm Noy.
we are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering your favorite and unknown movies, games, comic books, anime, and more weekly. We appreciate you being here and hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight. We are covering Tier Magic and World Items, part 1 of 2 today. But before we do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can enjoy this show on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, Odyssey, and more. We also have membership tiers on those platforms as well if you'd like to support the channel. And if you don't want to do it that way, you can always check out our buymeacoffee.com/KOE podcast. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty, we are diving back into Overlord. We are covering their Tier Magic and World Items, and this is a part 1 of 2 for the episodes. Today we're covering the Tier Magic side of Overlord. Tier Magic, basically in Overlord, was a magic system originally used by the players of Yggdrasil. So the game that they played before it became this new world. In the new world, the 6 great gods, which were players that were drawn into this world before the main character that we see now.
Oh.
And this is like 600 years ago in that world.
Oh, I'm like, this game was 600 years old?
No. Although it does take place in the future, but yeah. The 6 great gods, basically. And the 6 great gods were players that helped humanity in this new world whenever they were brought into this new world that 600 years ago.
Is it like amazing names for 5 and then the last guy's name is Steve or something?
We only know the name of one of the gods, which was Shirshana, I believe, but he was a god of death of the 6 great gods. He's basically a undead character that was brought into this new world. But the 6 great gods were basically probably friends that were drawn into the new world.
Probably some clan or something.
Yeah, just basically one of the guilds. In this new world, the 6 great gods utilize their power of tier magic to defend humanity from the monstrous races. So like the undead, the lizard men, all the other races that there are. A century later, tier magic was introduced into the world's laws of magic, with more people beginning to adopt its systems thanks to the effort of the 8 Greed Kings. The 8 Greed Kings was another group of people that was brought into this new world the same way the 6 great gods were.
Jeez.
But it was like 100 years later. And the 8 Greed Kings were basically what the name states, they were greedy. So they wanted to basically, they fought for humanity, but they also wanted to literally destroy everything else. So they took everything that they wanted until infighting basically caused them to...
the famous infighting.
Yeah.
Destroy many a group.
In contrast to wild magic is another system of magic that existed before these players were drawn into this new world. And since a lot of this stuff for Overlord is based off of Dungeons and Dragons, like for instance, in Dungeons and Dragons, you have mana or magic, I believe. Same thing.
Magic with a K. or a GK or something.
Yeah.
Magic with a CK.
So basically, tier magic uses mana as you use each spell, whereas wild magic, by contrast, it uses your HP or souls. So you have to offer up.
What is it, Dark Souls?
Kind of, yeah.
You're losing souls and you just break your heart.
Yeah. So in contrast to wild magic and runecraft, which is obviously dwarves, and you can inscribe like runes onto different kind of like armor, weapons. Basically gives them an enchantment.
I put one across my hand like a slap.
It's called bitch slap.
And you're just bitch slapping the hell out of people. Leave like a burnt mark of my hand imprint on the side of his face.
But in contrast to both wild magic and runecraft, which are limited to certain races, tier magic is more compatible and more widely available for many types of users to practice.
Oh, so Microsoft Windows.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. It's like the dumbed down version of magic. So you don't have to have an inherent skill to...
So a sorcerer as opposed to a wizard.
In Dungeons and Dragons. With its own controversy, tier magic was said to be the magical art that had supposedly caused a decline in usage of the traditional magics used by the other races. Regardless, tier magic can still be used by dragons and dwarves, over their ancestral magic, respectively. So basically, instead of using runecraft or wild magic, they can use tier magic as well. But it kind of like faded into obscurity for the other two, since they're starting to use the newer style.
Lost the system for the other two?
Not necessarily lost the system, but lost the usage of it. So like runecraft, I believe in the series,
like a skill trade, they bleed.
Yeah,
ain't that a bitch?
they kind of like it kind of became obscure. To this day, the denizens of the new world have not truly grasped its full potential completely, though. So like all the players, they can use high tier magic. Humans in this new world really can't, because they haven't grasped the ability to use it yet. The spells known as tier magic have appeared in the New World about 500 to 600 years ago, whenever these new players came into this world. After that, there have been several heroic magic users, but the rumors of the people, other than the 13 heroes, which was another set of players, using the spells above 7th tier up to that point are basically just rumors. Like, the only people that could use it were players.
Okay.
Like, denizens of this new world could not use that high of... Like, they didn't have the ability to.
The level cap is real.
Pretty much, yes. In Yggdrasil, the game, there were more than 6,000 spells for players to choose from and learn from.
God dang.
Yeah.
God dang.
6,000.
I can't even imagine the combos. The combos must be real.
Yet, when the New World inhabitants became practitioners of tier magic, they also began crafting new spells from the same system outside of Yggdrasil. So they started creating their own spells that fall within tier magic systems, basically.
Good old mod systems.
Yeah. Those spells are separated into 4 categories of spells. So you have 4 different categories. You have arcane, divine, spiritual, and alternative. Arcane is magic that seems to be more Western in nature. So like...
Just fireballs and stuff?
Yeah, that type of thing. Divine is restorative or healing spells used by priests. Divine magic casters could, after using spells which enhance their physical abilities, end up stronger than a half-baked warrior. So they basically could buff themselves to a higher level than a kind of like
Hit him with that second gear from Luffy.
Spiritual is oriental-based magic using talismans, psychic spells, and stuff like that. So it basically seems to be more Eastern in nature. And then there's alternative spells that fall outside of the other type of spells. The magic that paladins used fell basically into this category. So paladins typically cast spells in the form of blessings, while dark knights were fallen paladins who also used a type of blessing spell, only evil instead of good.
Okay.
Also, it is further divided into branches such as defensive, necromancy, elemental, movement, and so on. In Yggdrasil, they're used to help development and specialize a unique character build among other players like Mamanka, which is Einzelgone, the main character that we have now, a necromancer. So you could basically go through and choose certain things. So you had to be a necromancer class to use certain spells.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of which tradition of magic one was studying, the important thing when a person was starting to practice tier magic was to get a feel for it. Most of the people who had learned to use magic had done so through the feeling of making contact with the world. Anyone without the experience would be unable to cast spells. So it had to be inherent gift from birth in this new world to be able to use tier magic.
Damn.
Players could use it if they already had it.
Right.
Like whenever in the series Mamanga or Einzelgone, whenever he got to the new world, he could feel the spells that he had, know their cooldown rate, their usage, just inherently. But he could use them because he was already a player. In the world of Yggdrasil, it is said that there is no need to actually speak or make incantations when casting spells. But one's colleagues would not know what was going on if nothing was said. Therefore, magic casters announce their spells with names as a sign of courtesy between them.
That's smart. So I'm waiting for it because I always wondered, because I love One Piece, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know why they have to shout their name attacks, or they have to shout their attacks in pretty much whatever name.
Yeah.
So it's like, the Gum Gum Gatling. But I'm like, all right, I'll play along in this world.
Kind of like Fairy Tail too, where it's Dragon Slayer Slash and You don't
Or
have
freaking Inuyasha, Iron Reaver Soul Stealer. I can't even say it anymore. Iron Reaver Soul Stealer.
Yeah. But apparently they did that in the game just as a courtesy, so that way people knew, like in their own party, what they were going to use.
About to throw a firebomb.
Pretty much, yeah.
It'll destroy 18 blocks. So it'll be at 19 blocks.
One could normally only learn 3 spells per level. For instance, a normal level 100 player would only be able to use 300 spells. By far, if no cache items or racial skills like Ainz Olgon's Dark Wisdom are involved.
Dang microtransactions.
So, and Ainz Olgon was a huge proponent of those microtransactions. And his class Dark Wisdom allowed him to use, I believe, up to 600 spells.
Damn.
On just his own. So
it's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
I had to write that shit down. No wonder spell books exist. Write that shit down.
Be like Dragonlance, where you have to read the spell, you use it, and then you forget it.
Basically.
And then you have to reread it again. However, in the New World, there are spells that would normally take 8 years for inhabitants to master, as it takes a while, basically, for their level to go up due to their slow character growth. So it takes longer for the inhabitants of this new world to learn stuff compared to a regular player. A player learns those 3 spells every level.
Well, damn.
And the spells they learn, it takes about 8 years.
Sound like balls to be a normal person in this world.
Yeah. That is if one doesn't possess a talent in basically cutting the time in half, which in the episode 4, I believe, of the anime and in the light novel, there's a character that has the ability to learn the spells in half the time. So if it takes 8 years, it only takes them 4 years, which is
still a lot of it. 4 years, though. It's a long ass time.
Behind the origin of tier magic, the majority of its spells in the New World dates back to a certain city during the era of the 8 Greed Kings. So basically the theory is that they used a world item, which we'll cover in the next episode, to change the entire rules of this new world at once.
Okay.
Allowing tier magic over wild magic. At some point in time, other sorts of spells are actually created from the basis of old ones that already existed, which later helped pave the way for the continuous development of new spells in various regions. Unlike Yggdrasil, new tier spells are considered unique as they are developed and made over the course of a given time by the natives of this new world, like Evil Eye. And that's one of the characters that's been alive for a long time, where she's a vampire. So she's been alive for centuries, basically. Additionally, particular tier spells that involve the use of resurrection magic would require various objects ranging from gold coins, jewels, or other valuables as part of its cost.
Jesus.
So you have
an equivalent exchange.
Basically, yeah. Or if it was a game, a cash shop spell. Or you got to pay the gold to use the spell.
And never forget, a little girl got turned into a dog. I never did. Haunts me to this day. Every time I close my eyes, I see it.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that one now.
And the
Nobody can forget.
And the one in Futurama, too. Plus, I hate Neon Genesis Evangelion.
You couldn't even say first.
No, because I can't stand that shit. Go ahead.
Additionally, particular tier spells, let's see, they would use different coins, jewels, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, various tier spells like Fireball can be used and cast simultaneously as a form of group tactic in wars and battles. However, no historical records are known to have been written about it. For instance, multiple people using first tier spells like Magic Arrow altogether was unheard of or does not exist as a tactic, because there weren't enough people basically that could use magic. So there was never a tactical use for it.
I'm pretty sure I can find a tactical use for a fireball.
Because given the same amount of time and resources, it'd be more beneficial to train hundreds of archers than a single magic caster for combat. So it was more of which is easier.
I guess, yeah.
Instead of magical arrows.
It's more economic.
Right.
One wizard, 1,000 archers.
Instead of training that one wizard to use a magic arrow, well, we can have 100 actual archers and we can do basically the same
cloud the sky.
Normally speaking, spell damage could not be evaded, guarded, or reduced by physical armor. Purely energy-based spells, such as those of Fireball, should be effective against enemies with pieces of armor or sturdy exoskeletons. The same could also be said with other monsters with magic or elemental resistances. There are different types of spells that are not only affected by ability scores, passive skills, special skills, and equipment abilities, but were also affected by resistances gained through levels, penalties, and so on. For example, the instant death spells specialized by necromancers like Einzelgone, since he is a necromancer, you basically you gained different abilities after becoming that race.
Okay.
So kind of cool.
I know in Skyrim when you're in Argonia, you can swim underwater and not have to,
same principle,
not have to breathe.
Yeah. Or if you're a cat shit, then
A Khajiit.
it just says
They were
cat
just
shit.
they were just boring. Like, you just see in the dark.
You can see in the dark.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, whoop-de fucking do.
I don't know. In Skyrim and a lot of those places were real fucking dark.
Oh yeah, they were dark as fuck though. To be honest.
If they were cast on an opponent of a similar level, it would be hard for those spells to have any effects at all if they were not enhanced through any means.
Get by the nuts.
Basically. And we have, let's see, a list of tier magic.
Okay.
Each of the 4 categories of magic consisted of spells that are divided up into 10 tiers. So there's 10 tiers of spells, with an additional super tier, which surpassed all the others on top of it.
So 11 tiers.
Technically, yes. But you had to have like really good magical abilities to even use the super tier. In Yggdrasil, the total number of spells available was over 6,000, with each level up earning the power to learn 3 new spells for a max of 300. Additionally, progress after every 7 levels in magic caster classes allows the user to rise to a new tier ranging from the order of first tier to 10th tier. So basically you would get, if you were in a magic caster class, you get more additionally after that. Kind of cool. Alrighty, so we have the 0 tier.
A fucking match.
Yeah. This tier did not exist in Yggdrasil. Wasn't in the game.
Okay.
And is instead exclusive to the New World. For people possessing very little talent or ability, the magic that inexperienced people who have not yet learned or been able to master, basically, the first tier, are said to have a level similar to apprentices and students.
Okay.
It is regarded the same as magic tricks or sleight of hand results.
Jesus.
And certainly, even if they can be used, one will not be called a magic caster.
Imagine being in a fight, right? And you're like, pick a card, and you get punched in the face. Was this your card? He fucking punches you again.
Oh, that would suck so bad.
Is this your card?
That would suck so bad. It is a tier of magic that can meet the needs of simple tasks in life. So, an example of this is lifestyle magic. Basically like a spell that can warm up one bowl or plate of food. Like
a fucking microwave.
Pretty much. You can be a microwave.
Jesus Christ.
How annoying would that be? It's like, I can heat up a bowl, but I can't create a fireball.
Heat this bulb and I'm going to throw it in your fucking face.
No, it's lukewarm. It's not even scalding.
Oh, goddamn.
That'd be funny. It used the same quantity of mana as the first tier, though, so it's rarely used.
So it wastes just as much as more effective spells with half of the any semblance.
You get no benefits.
Yeah,
but this is for people that can't use magic really. So, but it still takes like if you have the ability for the mana in your body.
God dang muggles.
Pretty much. Then we have a first tier. This is level 1 through 7 people that can use it. The most common level of magic. Many practical magics are included in this tier. Anyone can use first tier magic by training. So you don't even have to
anybody, okay.
Right. Though it takes too much time and effort for those without talent. Those capable of performing.
Hey man, hard work.
Basically, that's all it is.
It's hard work. It doesn't matter how much talent you got. Hard work.
Those capable of performing this tier can earn proper pay as a kind of special worker. So, an example of first tier spells, we have anti-evil protection.
Okay, I like that.
Comments, it's self-explanatory what that would be. Bunny tail.
Okay.
Basically, it's used to decrease aggression towards the caster.
Okay. So a debuff.
Kind of, yeah.
Or no, what is it called?
Or it lowers your...
Like an aggro.
Yeah.
Lower.
Camouflage, clean, compass, create water.
You can just buy a cup. You don't need to make...
Destruction of water.
Okay, just throw it on the ground.
Floating board, lesser mind protection, light healing, magic arrow, orderless, quick march, repair, rabbit ears, which is used to increase the hearing sense.
Okay.
Rabbit foot, which makes increases the caster's luck.
There used to be this on Morrowind, like video game, the Elder Scrolls game. Mm-hmm. These boots, they're called boots of blinding speed.
Oh, those things suck so bad though.
And they would legit just make the whole screen black.
Well, isn't it like for it's based on that principle of you take like one step and you just fly?
No, it was like you put these boots on, right?
Yeah.
And you could run like the Flash. But they were called blinding speed because they actually did blacken the whole screen so you couldn't see.
I was thinking of it.
But mine hit a glitch. So there was a very light visibility. So I could see a little bit. And I knew where I was going, and I was hauling ass. But yeah, there was a spell that makes you, if you jump, like you go, you just get straight up into the air.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
My cousin, most people when they did it right, they just pressed it because they know what it did, and they go straight up in the air and back down, right?
Right.
He, for some reason, was running forward. He used the spell and he fucking shot across the whole map, and he died. Like we started south of the map, he died up north of the map. Like you can see like the little mini map on the right, on the top, like right or left hand side, and you just see him just sailing through it. I was like, oh my god! When you hit the ground, you're gonna be a goner.
Just flew and shot across.
He was hauling like Superman.
Alrighty, second tier magic. For those that were level 8 through 14, these are spells that you basically have to have talent to use. Mm-hmm. So numbering 1 in 5,000 to 1 in 10,000 people.
Could do that?
Yeah. It is the common goal, basically, for a normal magic caster to try to use a second tier magic. Those who achieve this tier can earn good income and a good reputation. Second tier spells include Acid Arrow, Cure Disease, Hawk's Eye, not Hawkeye, but not shooting arrows like that.
Just fucking blasting arrows.
Invisibility, Lesser Dexterity, Lesser Strength, Mass Compass. Basically, it's... Mass Compass is a spell which is said to be a multi-target version of Compass. Message, Protection of Negative Energy, Shockwave, Silence, Summon Angel, second tier. Basically, it summons an angel guardian.
Some dude just pops up and starts whipping your ass like with wings, like, oh shit.
And Temperature Change. Temperature Change is a traditional spell used to alter the temperature of the water until it is comfortable, or to directly heat the room.
It's like the laziest shit I've ever heard.
Basically, yes. You can see how nobody in the game would really...
Yeah, they're like, this is dumb as hell.
But this is included in the 6,000 spells available, so...
Hey man, so they're not all bangers.
Third tier here, level 15 through 21. Only the brightest basically could achieve this tier. Third tier magic casters are quite rare, and were considered to be the most likely to be platinum ranked adventurers at the very least.
God dang.
So starting to go up in levels.
Get that platinum.
Like if you could use third tier magic, you were doing really fucking good. Third tier spells include Animate Dead, Create Undead, Dimensional Move, Electrosphere.
Wait, Create Undead, so just... undead.
Spawn a low tier undead minion.
Okay.
So it's not even a high... It's like a zombie.
Hey,
you
man,
can raise a zombie.
Just throw him into a dungeon, see if a trap hits him. Then you just walk past him when he's dead.
Fireball is on this level. So you have to get to the third tier.
God dang, it's all the way up there.
Flame Resistance, Fly. Ainz could use this spell with silent magic, so he didn't even have to speak the word fly to be able to Fly. Haste, which is basically it's a buff that it increases the individual speed. Heavy Recover, Holy Light, Hot Spring. Apparently, it was an imitation of a druid spell, Geyser. Lightning, Lopsided Duel, which that's a long...
Lopsided Duel.
Okay. There's a long definition to that one. So. Slow, Spider Talisman, Summon Angel 3rd tier. And that's all 3rd tier magic. So it's basically what you would get as a basic person in Skyrim.
To be honest, the spells in Skyrim weren't as banging as they were in Morrowind.
Morrowind did have a lot more.
You had some weird spells in Morrowind.
But you would get KO'd by one fire spell at the beginning. So
yeah.
If you went into that little cave right there by that first town and you had no experience, you better know those cheat codes.
Yeah. You better know those cheat codes the minute you get off the fucking boat.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jesus.
4th tier, level 22 through 28. The highest tier, that Fluter Paradigm, which is the most powerful, basically the most powerful wizard within this new world.
God dang.
His most skilled acolytes have managed to reach this under his guidance. So he's above this, but that's the highest they can even.
Right.
And like he's personally training these motherfuckers, and they can still.
And they can barely get to level 4. Fuck.
The 4th tier spells include Burn Lance, Charm Species, which basically makes a beast or like an animal befriend you.
It's not like bestiality for a second. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can charm that species.
I bet you can, you freaks.
Control Cloud. It allows the user to manipulate clouds. Can't create rain.
I throw a cloud right in someone's face.
Dehydration.
I'm so thirsty.
Freezing Lance, Great Fireball, Holy Aura, Holy Ray, Shock Lance, Silver Lance, summon 4th tier Angel, and summon 4th tier Undead. So
you know how in my head I picture these angels. So the first one's Machop, next one's Machoke, and then the last one's Machamp. just progressively buffer.
Pretty much. 5th tier, 29 through 35 in the levels. A tier that very few have reached. Among them were the 13 heroes, who were considered the pinnacle of mankind.
The pinnacle of mankind, just like me.
Like the highest you could possibly get was 5th tier at this point.
Oh, jeez.
These are some 5th tier. We had Dragon Lightning.
God damn. What is it? The lightning bolt looks like a dragon?
In the shape of a dragon.
Okay.
Raised Dead. Basically, it revives a dead person back to life with some loss of vitality and 5 levels in return.
Damn, I lost 5 levels? Fuck.
Yep.
If I'm still alive.
Summon Undead 5th tier. Teleportation, so you could actually teleport. Vermin Bane, which was an original spell to the magician Evil Eye, where it's it's basically against insect creatures.
Man, you'd be great. You'd be great as a cockroach exterminator or like a bug exterminator. Just get in there.
Or for Kyohuko, the cockroach king.
Yeah. just open up a business where you just fucking like, I'll take care of all your bug needs.
Vermin Bane.
They all just haul ass. They go to the next house and you just go to the next house and charge them money to get rid of their bugs.
And Undying Flame. It's a spell that allowed a dragon's hooked fangs and claws to blaze with a bluish-white flame.
Huh.
Now we move into the 6th tier, which is level 36 through 42. This is basically pushing it to the levels of humanity ever. Like, nobody really goes past this level ever. The highest tier magic for very few incapable inhabitants of the New World that can so far achieve is, and this is reaching. It is said that there are currently 4 humanoid magic casters who can cast 6th tier spells in the entire continent, including Fluid or Paradigm himself.
Okay.
So the people that he trained can only use 4th. He can use 6th, but that's
that bastard.
The highest he can
You know
use.
what he's doing. I'm not teaching you everything I know.
6th tier spells include Control Weather, so not just clouds anymore. You can actually control the weather itself. Heal, Flame Wing, Locate Object, Obey.
There are your keys.
Summon Undead 6th tier, and Wall of Hell.
Oh, Jesus.
Just create a whole wall of hell.
I can't even imagine what a wall. So here you go, bitch, a wall of hell.
Black Friday customers.
Basically, just a
wall.
Just a wave of retail customers like, oh my
It's a wall.
oh, it's like the goddamn wall of the White Walkers. Like, oh god.
7th tier, level 43 through 49, spells that only exist in legends.
Oh.
Although humans are unable to use it, the slain theocracy's magic casters can via large-scale magic rites or ceremonies. So basically, if a whole group of people from the slain theocracy get together, they can combine their abilities basically to use a 7th tier
That's cool.
spell. However, these are very dangerous to perform and usually end up with disastrous consequences.
Don't tell me don't give me the odds. Like Han Solo, don't tell me the odds.
It does seem that the 13 heroes are capable of using the 7th tier spells, and a few individuals outside the group are rumored to have used one. So basically, the heroes of legend were the only ones that could ever even claim to use the 7th tier. 7th tier spells include blasphemy.
I don't believe in your God. That's
That would hurt a paladin, though.
like, oh, how could you, bro?
Chain dragon lightning.
So just a dragon lightning with a chainsaw.
Basically, yeah.
It would be
Or it goes through one enemy and then goes into the next one, to the next one. Yeah. Create greater item. So you can actually create items at this point. Focus magic. Greater teleportation. Basically...
Wait, for farther distance, or how much greater can teleportation get?
It's teleportation without restriction of distance.
Okay.
Greater word of curse.
You're a bitch, sir.
Now you can use the F word.
You're a fucking bitch, sir.
Exactly. Hell flame.
You like fire? Well, here's some from hell.
Hellfire wall.
Here's another wall.
Napalm.
Let me combine this with the wall of hell.
Phoenix flame.
Wait, napalm? Oh, that's just a fucking war weapon.
Napalm is a column of flame to appear beside the target, engulfing it in fire.
Damn, I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Phoenix flame. Resurrection. Shining burst. Summon angel 7th tier.
Damn, this is the beyond Machamp.
And undeath army. You basically summon a whole huge horde of undead.
Gee, that's a lot of power.
7th tier.
That's why it takes multiple people, I guess.
And that's why it's spells of legend.
Yeah.
Nobody can use it. In the current world, aside from the people from Nazarick with Einzelgone, nobody can use this. Because that's why they're like gods. They can do whatever the hell they want to do. Now we move into 8th tier. Level 50 through 56. In the New World, these spells are considered to be within the mythical realm. Night Liches have the ability and the capacity to learn the 8th tier. In the center of such a ritual, it is a human who can use the 5th tier and could improve it. If you become like somebody that could use 5th tier as a person, when you become a lich, you could become
when you die,
right?
Or whatever transformation
you could eventually learn.
That's cool.
It is also necessary for a large number of those present within the ceremony for somebody to become a lich, that person at the center of it to use a 3rd tier. Even with this, it can only be improved up to 2 tiers. It is believed that there are some form of there's a form of device involved to use this type of magic.
Okay.
Normally, a country like the theocracy, the slain theocracy, is needed to support something like this. So you have to have like a bunch of shit and like a bunch of
Jesus Christ, a lot of fucking nicknames.
a bunch of requirements.
Yeah.
If you're not Nazarick.
You need 3 Wolfsbanes, 18 Newt Eye.
Exactly.
God damn.
Just crazy shit. 8th tier spells include Aspect of Elemental, Astral Smite. So basically, it's an attack that's effective against ethereal beings.
Oh, okay.
Death.
Just Avada Kedavra, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Straight death.
Ainz can use this spell with silent magic, so you don't even know it's coming.
Just fucking drop dead. Jesus.
Yep. Dimensional Lock. Demiurge, the floor guardian, he possessed it as a skill that can only be used by the highest ranking devils or angels. Distort Moral. Or Morale.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Or Moral. Because morale is with an E at the end, so yeah. Moral. energy drain, explosion, insanity, planar eye, remote view, and wave of pain.
Good old remote view for warriors. Mm-hmm. PB Toms, no less.
All right, now we go into 9th tier. This is level 57 through 63. The only record for now is when Einzelgone uses the 9th tier, named True Death. Jeez. Is a spell that he uses. And he uses it to kill Gazeth Stronov, the head warrior and the strongest warrior that the kingdom had. He's just like, True Death, die. Deckham Hugan is the first New Worlder to have confirmed to use both 9th and 10th tier magic, but that's later on. 9th tier spells include Bless of Tatiana. Bless of Tatiana. Basically, it's you summon forth a tiny fairy. The fairy queen beside this person would take them along the least dangerous path. Ainz can use this spell with extend magic, so he can send the person even farther ahead of him. Call Greater Thunder. Crack in the ground. Just a crack in the ground. Elemental Form. God's Eye. Grasp Heart. Oh, no, excuse me. That's 9th tier. Grasp Heart. Grasp Heart is one of Einzelgone's favorite spells. You basically envision their heart in your hand and then you just crush them and it's instant death.
Ah, good old Darth Vader moves.
Yeah. Greater Rejection. Lead of Yatagarasu. Nuclear Blast.
God dang.
Perfect Unknowable. Perfect Unknowable is basically where you become invisible, but people that can sense invisible things or like spells that can find invisible things, you're completely unknowable, basically. Polar Claw, Tempest, Temporal Stasis, True Death, True Resurrection, and Vermilion Nova. Vermilion Nova is basically a triple magic where you get 3 fireballs behind you.
That's level 9?
Level 9.
Jesus Christ, how powerful are these fireballs?
They're pretty fucking powerful. 10th tier. 10th tier is level 64 through 70. The existence of 10th tier magic was proven by the Nameless Book of Spells, and a select few individuals like Evil Eye even know about it. 10th tier spells include Armageddon Evil.
I'll just end the world.
It's basically, according to the standards of Yggdrasil, players, the said demons are not considered to be strong. Since demonic summons have the tendency to go berserk, the spell usually is used to obtain sacrifices for rituals and skills.
Damn.
But Armageddon Evil. Then there's Armageddon Good.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just
never heard of Armageddon and Good in the same sentence, but okay.
I haven't either, but sure. Body of Effigolant Burl. It's a weird set. Basically, it protects one against bludgeoning attacks completely for one attack, where nothing can hurt you.
What if I get hit a bunch of times?
Oh yeah. It also reduces the effect later on.
Jesus.
You have Control Amnesia. Create Fortress, which is something that Einzelgone did.
Good old Fortnite, just build
just all at once.
Fucking skyscraper.
Field of Unclean, Implosion, and then Mercy of Shoria Robusta.
Robusta? How big are those bustas?
It's similar to Reality Slash, but it has 3 known effects whenever it's cast. So first, for a limited period of time, it would gradually recover HP.
Yeah.
The second was absolute immunity against death.
Yes.
And the third, it automatically resurrected the target when their HP reached 0 and died.
A big old pair of titties. Robusta.
Robusta. Big Barda.
Basically.
And then you have Mirror World, Mist of Super Acid, Meteor Fall, Nature Shelter, Reality Slash, 7 Trumpeteer, Stream of Lava, Summon Monster 10th tier, Summon Undead 10th tier, Time Stop, Ultimate Disturb, and Uriel.
Huh.
Like the angel name, Uriel.
Jesus, that's a lot of stuff.
It basically deals fire damage. And kind of like the flaming sword.
They should call it spontaneous combustion. It just bursts into flames.
Yeah.
So that was level 10 or 9?
That was level 10.
Okay, so level 11 was a mythical run, right? What if that one was just all it said was the level 11? These hands. That was all it was. It just some guy with these hands. Just
These hands.
that's all it said.
11th tier is for anybody that is level 71 through 100. And there are none of these in the New World.
These
So,
hands.
coined by the Theocracy's Cardinals, it is in the unofficial rank of super tier magic, otherwise known as Magic of the Gods. By Yggdrasil standard, it is simply called super tier magic. But there are a few individuals in the New World who refer to it as such, as being 11th tier. So instead of calling it a super tier, they just call it 11th tier.
Yeah, that sounds better than super tier.
It is labeled as the highest form of magic above all other tiers that has been used between 500 to 200 years ago before the present setting in the Overlord series.
So it was used?
Yeah, 500 to 200 years ago.
So they know it existed at least.
Yeah, but it's like, it's beyond their comprehension.
I mean, that's weird, though. Like, if it's something that they can't be used anymore, how do they know it even exists?
The players.
Oh, they remember. Okay, from the old game.
Because one of them would have known.
Yeah.
Mechanics. A magic caster can apply multiple meta magic enhancements to a single spell, and the changes are cumulative.
Damn, they're juicing? These motherfuckers.
However, one cannot apply the same form of meta magic twice for a single spell, but could stack other forms to it, though only once. One is even able to store a meta magic of a spell in either a scroll, potion, or wand. Reasonably so, a magic caster doesn't need meta magic to activate an item that already stored a meta magic version of the spell. So you can store a spell in an item, basically, and use it.
Tell me, just hire a wizard to make me all these fucking items.
Yeah, that's kind of what people would do.
Like, put lightning in these 2 gloves.
In this case, Einzelgone using an item imbued with such power could cast like maximize magic, greater lethal, or something from it. Different types of magic that were considered this. We have boost magic, which can elevate the tier and power of a spell. We have delay magic, so when it's activated, the magic is delayed the moment of the activation of that spell. So, like if you say like delay fireball, it would delay the fireball until you wanted it to go. And you can cast a whole bunch of them at once. Extend magic. It allows the user to extend the period of time that the spell could remain active. Maximize magic. It increases the spell's attack power to its maximum damaged potential. In other words, this meant eliminating the RNG in order to ensure the spell is able to deal the most damage possible.
Well, damn. Take the RNG out, it's fucking game on.
Over magic. In exchange of great quantities of mana, it allows the user to activate one spell of a tier higher than what they would normally be able to cast. So if one of the New Worlders could cast a 3rd tier spell, if they use over magic, they could go one step above that.
To 4, yeah.
Yeah, which is ridiculous even for them. Penetrate magic. It increases the chances to penetrate magical defenses or resistances.
Wait, so there you go. Just get one of those things, level 10, and you can go one above. Just make something up.
Just fuck everybody.
Yeah, like if you can, you said that you can go one level higher, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're level 10, you go to 11. You take that shit to 11. What's 11? The whole fucking
the super tier.
The super tier. Like, I wonder what would happen. It's like the whole game just resets.
We have silent magic, which is been mentioned a few times with Einzelgone. It allows the user to activate a spell without the need to recite it, eliminating the danger of a third party or person disrupting the activation. So they don't even know you're casting the spell. You just do it. Triplet magic, which is like twin magic. Basically, it allows you to cast the same spell either twice or 3 times in a row.
Damn, come with a 3-piece.
So, like, you can say triple maximize magic fireball, and you get 3 fireballs at once. Widen magic increases the area range of the effect.
Triple magic, wide magic, just 3 big ass fireballs.
And then you have 5 elements, which basically, so far, yin and yang are the only 2 principles used in conjunction with a tier spell. Now we'll talk about super tier magic here.
So there is super tier magic.
There is super tier magic. But again, Einzelgone's the only one been using it, so fucking everybody. While magic only goes up to the 10th tier, super tier magic is said to go beyond that limit. Super tier magic acts more like a special ability rather than an actual spell.
Oh.
Magic casters can unleash it without consuming any of their MP, which is magic like mana. They don't have to use any mana to actually use the spell. The number of super tier spells a player could learn is 1 for each level above the level 70.
Jesus.
So you can basically learn 30.
Yeah.
When it is first learned, it can only be used 1 time a day. So you can only use 1 super tier magic spell per day.
Huh.
However, it can be used increasingly once more for every additional 10 levels. Thus, the average player who has managed to finally reach 100 in Yggdrasil is able to use super tier magic 4 times a day. And you have about 30 tier spells, or 30 super tier spells to choose from. And you can do it 4 times a day. Each super tier spell also needed a certain amount of casting time before it could be put into effect. So an example of this is whenever Einzelgone is fighting in the anime, which is what most people will see, he goes to go cast super tier magic, and since he doesn't know if there's players in this new world that he's going to be fighting against, everybody always goes after the person casting super tier magic because it takes time. Mm-hmm. So that's how he knows that there's no players around. Otherwise, he would have been targeted first. For this reason, super tier magic cannot be activated consecutively every time. First, it has an activation period, and a certain amount of damage done to the magic caster will interrupt the casting. Various means of interpretation include teleportation ambushes, bombardment from atop like a magic carpet, like where you're firing basically down on the person trying to cast this, or extremely long-range sniping. Second, it is possible to use cache items to remove that casting time, which Einzelgone does.
Transactions, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
That dirty son of a bitch.
But with a penalty that prevents the repeated casting of super tier spells. So you can only do the 1 spell if you cut out the time.
Ever?
Within the day.
Okay.
Magic casters who were preparing a super tier spell could also suffer from their defenses being lowered. The basics of super tier casting spells include protecting the caster with several of your guildmates, basically.
Yeah.
Once any member of a team casts a super tier spell, every member would be penalized by being unable to cast such spells for a certain period of time. In other words, a cooldown period. This restriction was put in place to prevent guild wars in Yggdrasil from being decided by who could vomit out the most super tier spells.
Yeah, just fucking nerfing each other.
The author of Overlord has also noted that there's no class exclusive to super tier magic. Whenever basically once you reach the level, you can use it. And this is coming directly from the author itself. Here are a list of some of the super tier spells, and this will be the end of this. We have Book of Revelations, Malevolent Locust, Disaster of Abaddon's Locust. Basically,
a mouthful.
That's long. We have Creation. It is a super tier spell that can change the terrain itself. In Yggdrasil, it is used to guard against the heat of volcanoes or the cold of freezing lands. According to Einzelgone's experiment, it had an amazingly large area of effect and could cover the entire 8th floor inside the Great Tomb of Nazarick. And each floor, remember, is basically its own little world.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. We have Fallen Down, which is the spell that Ainz used. The first tier spell that you get to see. Basically, upon casting this super tier spell, Ainz calls down a huge pillar of blue light from the sky that will burn so bright and hot that it'll appear like the whole world has turned white. After a few seconds, it will leave behind an area burned to a cinder, devoid of life. And basically, the spell deals massive damage, especially to undead type enemies.
Damn.
So it's like a holy smite light. We have La Shrub Nagrath, an area of effect spell. Judgment of Osiris. Super tier spell which allows the user to manipulate karma values. By doing so, it is capable of reducing negative karma values and increasing positive ones. So you could basically, for instance, you have a Shao tier, which is a negative 500.
He's just like, I absolve your sins.
Pretty much, yes.
I absolve your sins.
We have Pandemonium. It summons 6 level 80 demon type monsters.
Damn, that seems like overkill.
Yeah. We have Pantheon, which summons 6 80 cherubium gatekeepers, so angels.
More fucking overkill.
Summoning of the Avatar of God. Sword of Damocles. According to the unknown guild member of Einzelgone, the guild name, it was described to be an orbital weapon designed to target structures.
Jesus.
And Wish Upon a Star. Wish Upon a Star is a super tier spell which consumes the user's experience points to grant a wish or more. One can gain access to it by using a special item known as Shooting Star or through learning it. So
Make a wish,
you can make whatever wish you want.
I saw this. That's ironic because I saw this meme earlier of the genie granting 3 wishes.
Yeah.
So this guy's like, "Oh, give me the most powerful night vision goggles ever in existence," and the genie's like, "Done." Then his second wish was, "All right, now destroy every other night vision equipment except for mine in the world." He's like, "That's gonna ruin a lot of people's day, but done." Then he's like, "Now destroy the sun." Like, oh,
that would suck.
about to be the most lethal man that's ever walked the face of the earth.
That's kind of what Einzelgone is. Most lethal man. He's the only one that can use super tier magic out of everybody.
Is he the one that knows about it?
Like I said, it's legend.
Huh.
Like they know it should exist, but
That's weird.
Everybody alive has never seen it.
Yeah.
It's not even in the legend books. Like it's not written about or anything. The only people that even think that it can exist is the slain theocracy, and the only reason they think that is because they have the 6 great gods. So they assume that they could use it, but which is probably likely since they were players. But
Right.
yeah, but that is everything for tier magic. In part 2, we will cover the world items that are in from Yggdrasil in this new world, and there are some crazy ones.
I love me some items. I love, Indiana Jones and like the Ark of the Covenant stuff.
I mean, hearing about this, does it remind you a lot of Dungeons and Dragons? Like, can you tell that he got inspiration?
It's just the same tropes, yeah.
From D&D, basically,
Yeah.
or Pathfinder at this point. but that is everything for today, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Adios.